Namaskar, dear devotees and friends. Let us begin our Panchama Veda study. Tabu kathamritam tapta jivanam kabibhiriritam kalmashapaham sravana mangalam srimadatatam bhubi grinanti e bhurida janaha. Those who are regularly following this class, this discourse, you know that last Wednesday on the 16th, we concluded mentioning the words of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna from the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, the English, the 39 chapter, page 743. Those who are following that book, there the Bhagavan mentioned, I found no distinction between the sacred tulsi and the ordinary sajna leaf. So this when he said, after his experience of the one, then he mentioned in the same line, a change came, the mind left the plane of the Leela and ascended to the Nitya. Nitya means eternal, unchanging. Leela means always changing. So, Nitya and Leela. These are the two conditions that we always find, the Nitya and Leela. Leela we know, Leela we understand, because we are in that Leela. In that Leela it is happening according to the Hindu views, because of the three gunas, three qualities, sattva, raja and tama. The sattva, the good quality, raja, the mixture of good and bad, tama, bad. The normal way if we translate in that way, the sattva, raja, tama. And obviously it is continuously changing, that those who are good, their behavior are different. Those who are raja, mixture in between, their behaviors are different. And outlook of the tama are completely different. So these differences we see, and we can understand this is Leela. That's a Sanskrit word, is a play, a divine play. So if this is happening in this way, there must be something which is unchanging. Whenever there is a change, there is something that is changing, there must be something which is unchanging. Comparing with that, we can say this is changing. That unchanging one is called Nitya. In the Sanskrit it is called Nitya. We don't have the experience of Nitya, and that is why it is difficult for us to understand what actually Nitya is. What is that eternal, constant consciousness is? We don't understand that. But here the two Sanskrit words that has been used, Nitya and Leela, about one, about the Leela, about the changes, we have the experience. We can understand that. But at the same time, we also can understand there must be something which is always the same, which is eternal, unchanging. Otherwise, how we can compare the changes? On the basis of that, now here comes the avatara, here comes the incarnations of God, here comes the great souls. After realizing that Nitya, the eternal, they come down to us and try to explain, and Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is explaining, a change came, the mind left the plane of Leela, the changing one, and ascended to the Nitya. He is the bridge. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is the bridge between the Nitya and the Leela. That is why if we read the biography of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, we understand the religion much, much better way. Because in his life, everything has been experienced and then explained. Not that I am trying to, as because I am the follower of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, I am just trying to convince in that way. No, it is not like that. I am not trying to convert anyone. But those who are sincere, open-minded, inquisitive, if they read the scripture and at the same time, whatever the scriptures have said, that must be proved by the life, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna's life. That way I am telling. Now, Sri Ramakrishna experienced this. Not only his experience is supported by the other great holy people like Shankaracharya. The last week I mentioned about his great book, Viveka and there are the 3 verses, 408, 409 and 410. So he mentioned about how things are happening. What is this? Kimapi satata bodham kevala ananda rupam. So how we will know that he is in that all-pervading one consciousness? Satata, constantly, every moment, every time, ananda rupam is in the eternal bliss. That is the only point, only thing that we can understand. We understand joy, happiness. But when it is expressed as a bliss, it is extreme joy. And it's not depending on any object, as you all know. So obviously, where from the joy is coming, bliss is coming, from the experience of the one. Kimapi satata bodham, unchangeable. Nirupamam, it is, we cannot have any one or same other thing to compare, no. Nirupama. Upama, niru, ni means negative. Upama means the comparison. The Sanskrit word upama, comparison. It is nirupama. No, there is no comparison. So we can use the word peerless. So it is completely pure. Otibelam, unlimited. Nitya muktam, eternally free, because there is no desire at all. Why you were bound? Because of the desire. No desire at all. For nothing. And niriham, and he does nothing also. So we read that Nirabadi gaganabham nishkalam nirvikalpam hridikalayati vidwan brahma purnam samadho. They are giving the example of the sky, the all expanding. So the last week we read. Now we find in the same Shankaracharya, in the same book, in Viveka he is giving the definition, is trying to give the definition of the completely free person, how he will be, how his behavior, how he will understand, how we will understand that he is free. So he is giving in the Viveka the verse 433 he mentioned, Guna dosha vishishte asmin sabhavena bilakshane sarvatra samadarshitvam jivana muktasya lakshanam is a word now the Shankara is using, jivana mukta. He liked very much this particular word. It is a very favorite word of the Shankara. He said jivana mukta. Jivana mukti sukha prapti hetabe janmadharitam. He said, why this human birth? To enjoy the bliss of freedom. To enjoy the bliss of freedom, that is Jivana Mukta. And Jivana means the life. While we are living, we are free. While living, we are free. Free from what again? Desire. A person which is not having any desire, any type of desire. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna life, once again I will say, if we are reading the biography of Sri Ramakrishna, we always understand that he was not having any desire. Only to keep his body, he used to forcefully think about something. Oh, I like to go and meet that person as a desire. I like to drink water. I like to eat this thing. A simple, small thing. For us, we cannot imagine because our mind is so full of desire. And naturally, it is not at all free. So we always think, oh, what will happen? Is it possible if there is no desire? How I will survive? The moment there is no desire, at the same time I am leaving, so it's called Jivana Mukta. So just to keep that recapitulation like that, what is the bondage? Desire. When there is no bondage, completely free. And how I will live? Now he says, Sarvatra Samadarshitvam. Not that he will die, he will live. But he will live in great joy because he will never find any differences. Sometimes we are happy because when our thoughts are collaborating with someone else and we are happy. Then colliding with something else, we are unhappy. That always happens. I like it, so if that is happening, I am happy. I don't like it, if that is happening, I am unhappy. So happiness and unhappiness, it depends on my liking or not liking. When that is not there, when things are all same, it is all joy. Because I am not attached at all. A little baby sleeping on the or sitting on the lap of the mother do not have any idea of differences, good person, bad person or anything, is always in the same mind. When it is hungry, then only it will cry, otherwise it is okay. The Jivana Mukta, as because there is no other desire, and he sees everything in the same way, no differences, good, bad, mixture of good and bad, nothing like that. It's all same. That is called Jivana Mukta. Guna dosha vishishte asmin. Asmin means in this world. Is a mixture, vishishte. What the mixture? Guna and dosha. What is that? Dosha, it is tama. Guna, it is sattva. The sattva, tama, raja, all this vishishte, when it is mixed up, then that is the problem. But osmin sabena bilakshana, what is the difference? Sarvatra samadarshitvam. So who is a true monk, who is a true sadhu? Who sees everything as the manifestation of the same God and no differences. So what is the goal of a monastic life, a sannyasa life or the religious life? To see the same one. Is it only from the path of the knowledge? No. Even in the path of devotion, we find everywhere the same God. Those who are following the path of knowledge, they see the Brahman, the consciousness everywhere. Those who are following the path of the devotion, they see the God or Goddess everywhere. Yatra yatra netra pade, tatra tatra Krishna spure. They always, the Vaishnavas, they say, the Krishna they worship, and Krishna is everywhere, manifesting wherever they look. See. So that is, though the world is full of diversity, yet the man of realization sees one Brahman in everything. So we understand what is this Jivana Mukta. Now in the scripture, this word we find Jivana Mukta. Now is it possible for any person? Sometimes there are some conceptions there, but it is very difficult to practice in the life. But we see in the life of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. As because we are reading his the discourses, his dialogues, we won't go, but just references. Those who have read, they will understand. Sri Ramakrishna, for Sri Ramakrishna, there is no difference at all. And that is the reason when, in those days particularly, it was, you can understand, a Brahmin, and that too attached with a very famous temple, Dakshineshwar, and he is going and seeing someone praying in a different religion, a person from different religion, a Muslim, he is praying on the street. The Muslims, they pray for 5 times. Whenever that time will come, they are very devoted. Immediately they will spread something, a piece of cloth, and on that they will pray. When Sri Ramakrishna saw that, a Brahmin, he got down from the carriage, ran to that person, embraced him. Why? Because the person was sincere. He was praying to Allah. He was not a Hindu, he was a Muslim. But this is Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, Samadarshitva. From the social view, differences may be, but from the spiritual point of view, there should not be any difference. Those who are seeing the difference, they are far from the realization. If we like to see the difference, good, if you like, but far from the realization. Those who are following the Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, his ideology, for them, this is the practice to try to see the sameness, oneness. It says, Sarvatra Samadarshittam Jivana Muktasya Lakshanam. Shankaracharya in the Vivek Chudamani 433 verse, he is very clear giving the definition. How you will understand a Jivan Mukta? Sri Ramakrishna, a Jivan Mukta. Sri Ramakrishna is Samadarshi. Again, he is mentioning in the verse 428, a person free while living, the Acharya said, one whose pragya, means understanding, is firmly anchored in Brahman or all-pervading consciousness. Yasya sthita bhavet pragya. How you will understand? The person has realized Brahman. We talk about Brahman, we talk about God realization, we talk about the freedom. But we need example. Otherwise, the theory cannot be proved. Sri Ramakrishna, he is the bridge between the Nitya and Leela. And in the Leela, he sees everything same. In the Nitya, when he is in the Nitya, eternal, he sees the Leela, obviously, a little differences. So it says that when a person is Jivan Mukta, free while living in the body and while living without any desire, that Jivan Mukta person, Yasya Sthita Bhavet Pragya. Yasya, whose Pragya, the realization, understanding, it has gotten one place and never change. Second, this is the first. Second, whose bliss is continuous. Bliss is continuous. Yasya Ananda Nirantara. And never unhappy. Yasya Ananda Nirantara. Second. And the third, it says, Prapancha Bismita Praya. He forgets, forgetful of the all around people. And he goes to that Nitya from the Leela. From many, from differences, he goes to the one. Prapancha, prapancha means this manifestation of this world, all this creation. He forgets. When we go to sleep, we forget. Every day, actually, we are forgetting this world. And it is good for our health. If we can't sleep, that is a terrible punishment. So obviously, we go to bed to sleep. What is this sleep? Forgetting all around thing. I was having this problem, that problem, we will see that. Tomorrow we will take up. Now, let us retire and take. And that great sleep, wonderful sleep, where even there is no dream, that gives us the freshness. And think of those people who are forgetting this world while they are awake. Not in the sleep, while completely awake. Sri Ramakrishna. So, friends, I would suggest, if you like to understand the religion, the two books, Biography of Sri Ramakrishna and the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. The whatever there in the Gospel he is discussing about the scriptures, the truths, and you can immediately go to for the references of those books as I am giving over here from the Viveka about the Jivan Mukti, etc., and at the same time example his own life. While awake, he is forgetting all around. It is never, even sometimes there was a doctor, Dr. Sharkar, and while Sri Ramakrishna was in that samadhi, standing, he came and touched his eyeball with the finger. Is it possible? The moment something is coming near our eyes, immediately we blink. But Sri Ramakrishna's eyeball was open and the doctor touched it. No reaction. Apparently dead person. To that deep consciousness, again coming back to life. So he is the bridge between Nitya and the Leela. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna's life proved all these qualities. That's why he is not only a Jivana Mukta. Swami Vivekananda said, Avatara Varishtaya. What is this Avatara Varishta? He is very special in the line of the incarnations of God. Now, let us read from his own words, and where he says, I no longer enjoyed seeing the forms of God because it is Nitya. And the forms of God, it is in the Leela again, duality. He is going to the Nitya. There is nothing. I removed all pictures of gods and goddesses from my room and began to meditate on the primal Purusha, the indivisible Satchidananda, regarding myself as his handmaid. So he was meditating on that supreme consciousness. Satchid Ananda, that the ultimate expression of the Brahman. What is Brahman? They say Sat Chit Ananda. And why they say that and how they can mention in this way? Just a word, the name they have given? No, after all these experiences. So, Sat means existence. We all like to live. No one like to die. Even a person, if after living 125 years, if you ask that person, do you like to live? Oh yeah, why not? No one like to die. Even an ant, if you go and try to touch it, immediately ant will try to save itself, he will hide somewhere. Even that life also he likes to. So life proves that where from this came, this quality came, the quality of existence from the beginner. Because the one or the thing, whatever has created us, it was having this quality. So this property was already there, that's why we are inheriting that. So we don't like to die. So what is that? The creator, the Brahman. The Vedantin will say Brahman. And how you will know the Brahman? First, it never changes. Sat, eternal, never changes, never die. Chit, Chit means the knowledge. That is also always there in all being. They like to know. And if you look at the monkeys, you will understand how they are trying to understand things. And I have seen in the jungle, in the Arunachal Pradesh, how these elephants are coming. They are trying to understand what is this. They came and they were touching that. We had a door, still door, and it was December, very cold. And they were coming and trying to touch that as because it is very cold. They were immediately removing the trunk. Again, they are trying to touch, to understand. The inquisitiveness, they like to know, they are understanding. And in human being, it is so much so. They like to know, they like to know, they like to know. They can't stop. We have reached to the moon. Even they say, okay, now we have understood what is moon. Let us, other people will come, they will research on that. Let us now go to Mars. then to this, then to that, and trying as close as possible to the sun. Why, we should know, we should know, we should know. Where from these came? We are never satisfied because we like to know. It came from the original, and that's why it says Chit. And then whole life, each and every one, we are running for only one thing, that is the joy, the happiness. Where from we will get the joy? From the food, from the drinks, from the company, from the property, from the social status? Where from we will get that joy? We are running. Look at the pages of the history. Every page will tell the same story. Look at our own life. All around us, we are only wanting these three things. We like to survive, we like to live, we like to know, and at the same time, we like to enjoy the bliss. So these three great qualities are present in every being. So our Creator, whom we have called the Vedantin as Brahman, we said Sat Chit Ananda Swarupa. Swarupa means it is the embodiment of that, it is a source of that. Sat Chit Ananda. Sri Ramakrishna was practicing that. I practice all sorts of sadhana. There are three classes of sadhana: Svattika, Rajasic and Tamasic. In the Svattik sadhana, the devotee calls on the Lord with great longing or simply repeat His name. He doesn't seek any result in return. This is called Svattik. Because of the qualities again. See, Sri Ramakrishna mentioning how we have been created with the power of God. What are the powers of God? Sattva, Raja, Tama. Three qualities. Are they present in God? Yes, they are present in God. Then God is also affected by them? No. Big no. No, it is not possible. It is coming from the God, but God is not affected. It is coming from that Creator, but Creator is not affected. How it is possible? Sri Ramakrishna again give the example that the venom, the poison is there in the body of a snake. But a snake doesn't die because of that. So that same way, this Sattva, Raja, Tama, it is in that the God, and God is using these three qualities to create. And when the creation, it is sometimes it is good, sometimes it is a mixture, sometimes it is bad, it's going on. So obviously, when we are trying to realize God, it will be in the same way also, Sattva, Raja, Tama. So he is mentioning the Sattik sadhana. There are three types: Sattik, Rajasic, Tamasic, according to the mentality. The Sattik sadhana, the devotee calls on Lord with great longing, simply repeat His name. He doesn't seek the result in return. Rajasic sadhana prescribes many rituals. The Rajasic, they will go for many rituals. The Purascharana, pilgrimage, then Panchatapa, and worship with 16 articles and so forth. These are all Rajasic. Because we feel that sometimes I have offered this thing to the God and I am satisfied because I can offer gold to God. I can offer these to the. So sometimes I get the information naturally. The one of the minister, he is donating a lot of gold to one temple, but not from his money. He is giving from the government exchequer. Okay, if the God is happy with that, the blessings will go to all the people, not to the person who is donating. It is all conception. We are thinking if we give this, because I love gold, so I like to offer that to God. I am thinking, as I love gold, the God will also love gold. Maybe, I don't know. So this way, when we are doing it is Rajashika. and they will be doing different type of tapasyas and all that. And another is tamasika. And the 16 item. The tamasic sadhana is a worship of God with the help of tamas. The attitude of a tamasic devotee is this: Hail Kali, what? Wilt thou not reveal thyself to me? If not, I will cut my throat with a knife. This is that this one does not, the conventional purity. It is just like someone, the discipline prescribed by the Tantra. And the Tamasika people, they will be, but here, when this Sri Ramakrishna is appreciating the Tamasika quality. Why? Because there is a great faith. O Mother Kali, how come that you are not going to help me? You must have to. The great faith. And then they are not going to take the name of Lord or praying because they don't have that attitude. They will go as they go and snatch away the things. They will go to God to snatch that devotion or whatever they want. So three different types. One is very calm and composed. They don't want anything. They love God only. So they will go on taking the name of God and they are happy with that. Rajashika, they like to show up. So they will be inviting people, I have a puja, so please come and I am doing this, I am doing that. Sometimes we will find that the people will bring food to feed the devotees. At the same time, they will invite their own friends and relatives. I am offering food to God and you can also come and take. So it's like a party that I am giving in the ashrama. Okay, that is also, they are helping the ashrama, but at the same time, Rajashika mentality. I am giving the food to the God. And how that will be distributed, who is going to take prasad, I don't know. I only give it to God that much. And I pray and pray and pray, oh God, please accept my offering. That is sattvik. But the Rajashika, they will show, oh, you have taken that food, I offered that. I have done that. Always ego, ego and ego. At least good they are giving. And Tamashika in a different way they do. The Sri Ramakrishna is telling that this is the all attitude. During my sadhana period, I had all kinds of amazing visions. I distinctly perceived the communion of the Atman. A person exactly resembling me entered my body and began to commune with each one of the 6 lotuses. So that is in the yoga we find there are 7 lotuses, ultimately the sapta, the ultimate on the top of the head, Muladhara, then Swadhisthana, Manipura, like that it goes, the sapta stages. And he says, Sri Ramakrishna experienced that one person, he is coming out, distinctly perceived the one Atman, a person exactly resembling me, exactly resembling Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, same, he is coming. He entered my body and began to commune with each one of the 6 lotuses. The petals of those lotuses had been closed, but as each of them experienced the communion, the drooping flower bloomed and turned itself upward. Thus the bloomed forth of lotuses at the center of the Muladhara, Shadhisthana, Anahata, Vishuddha, Agga, Sahasrara, all these different 6. Then the dropping flowers turned upward. I perceived all these things directly. Again, this Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, who was so humble, who could not even say I, he used to touch his own body and say this. The association with this body was not there. When he is telling this, that proves whatever is written in the yoga shastras, in the books that we find, the Patanjali Yoga Darshana. They gave the Patanjali Yoga Darshana, it teaches different type of, because the yogis, they found that in the life of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, it is that. So he is a Pramana Purusha, sometimes I say, he is proving the scripture. The scriptures, whatever they have said, particularly scripture means those books which has been written by or said by the realized people. So many people are nowadays writing about the yoga, how to do meditation, learn meditation within 24 hours. And if you go to that person, he never meditates. He's only selling the book because he has the command over the language and he'll be putting in that way, and then he knows how to advertise, and a lot of books will be sold. So it may be there. Always it happens in the world. But the question is, when the Patanjali Rishi, he wrote this thing from where? His own realization. Has these been again experienced by anyone? Here, Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. There are many. But Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, why we believe him? Because he was so humble. He never was having any iota of ego. Oh, I have seen that, I have realized that, nothing like that. When he is mentioning this thing, it is to help us to grow our own faith in the scripture. It is there and it is possible. That is exactly what Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is mentioning. When I meditated during my sadhana, I used to think of the unflickering flame of a lamp set in a windless place. The indication, sometimes some people, they like to know how to meditate. In this Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, we find the indication, very clear indication. Those who have taken the initiation and got the instructions from the Guru, they should follow accordingly. But sometimes we can, as because we are reading this, we can try to imagine that. The not flickering lamp, a light, steady, and as if there is no wind, everything is still. And there we can see the light. Sri Ramakrishna, he used to meditate in that way. When we learn that, and at our leisure time, if we are interested, we can practice that. And slowly, slowly, the more and more it will deepen, and more we understand this yoga, then all these petals and all these places will open up. This is for the yogis. In deep meditation, a man is not at all conscious of the outer world. So we can understand how I will know that I am in deep meditation. I will forget my body even. I will forget all around me, everything. There was one of the President Swamiji of the Ramakrishna order. He went to a Calcutta hospital in the city, naturally, and Calcutta is an old city. There are people living so on almost by the side of the road, and they're poor people. Whole day they work and they come back in the evening. Maybe they'll be drinking and then shouting, all this. Now, as because the hospital building was just on the road, obviously all those shoutings in the dead night is disturbing. The Swami who was attending the President Swami, he couldn't sleep. After 2 days he said, Swami, how could we be here? Because we can't sleep in the night, so much of disturbances. And I am worried about your health. I think you are not sleeping well. But the President Swamiji told, but I don't feel any disturbance. Why you are also feeling the disturbance? When you are sleeping, take your mind completely to the other world. Forget all this. Then you will never hear what is going on all around us. So this is called meditation. The meditation means when we take our mind out from the all surrounding us. When we try to learn meditation, so meditation is this. There are so many varieties of meditation nowadays. The people are learning different type of Buddhist, these, that. So everybody is introducing meditation nowadays. But the actual, original, ancient way of meditation, the Patanjala Yoga Darshan, it says step by step what will happen, how you will feel. So these are the proofs. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna is mentioning, you will see the light without any flicker, as if there is no air, there is no wind. And that way you see only light and enlightening your heart. You see the lotuses as they are going upward and blooming. And you feel the great joy one after another, when all the 6 steps is going up. And also you forget surrounding all around you. The little sound and this should not distract you. Your mind is so concentrated. So then he is giving an example. He said, in deep meditation, a man is not at all conscious of the outer world. Then he is giving an example. A hunter was aiming at a bird. A bridal procession passed along beside him with the groom's relatives and friends, music, carriages and horses. Those who have seen the Indian marriages, here in America also, there's sometimes the Indians' marriage, there are a lot of the sound they'll have, and they'll have the horses, the music, then with dances, all relatives and friends in the very good dresses, they'll be dancing, that way. Now, imagining that type of procession is going, and the hunter who is aiming a bird sitting somewhere is not at all disturbed by this. Hunter was aiming at a bird, a bridal procession passed along. A long time for the procession to pass the hunter, but he was not at all conscious of it. He did not know that the bridegroom had gone by. The bridegroom had gone by means their whole procession, they passed, the hunter was all one. And that is called meditation. Many of you know there's a famous story in the Mahabharata when the young princes of this Kuru and Pandava, they were giving the examination of their archery, and the Guru Dronacharya, he placed a bird means made of earth, on a branch of a tree, and asked this young prince that can you please shoot to the eye of the bird, not the bird itself, eye of the bird. Then when they were different, one of them came and he was pointing, then the Guru asked, what do you see? Oh, I see the whole jungle. Okay, you need not to shoot, go. Next. The mostly that one said, I see the tree. No, go. I see the bird. No, go. Then lastly came his beloved disciple Arjuna. When he asked Arjuna, what do you see? Arjuna said, I see only the eye of the bird. Shoot. And he was successful. So that meditation means the whole mind should go to a one place, forgetting everything else. That is called meditation. Sometimes when the beginner, particularly nowadays in the modern society, people are busy with so many things, and then they are coming and just opening the TV or the newspaper. There's so many excitement all around. Even then they are trying to meditate. That is really appreciating. But they should try to practice very slowly, because forcefully, if we are trying to control our mind. Mind is a very powerful instrument, and if we try to do that wrongly, the repercussion may be bad. So one must be very careful. So nowadays, many of the teachers, they are teaching that try to imagine that the air is going in when you are breathing in. Try to see that air. You can't see. Just imagine. Or feel the sound when the air is entering into one of the nostrils. Can you hear the sound? And then by that process, you are withdrawing the mind and trying to listen to the sound that is entering, creating when the air is going inside the nostril. That is also meditation. These are the processes they try. But why we are so, each and everyone is so eager to learn meditation? Because our mind is in turmoil. And why the mind is so much of turmoil? Because of the desire. There are so many varieties of desire. I got a job, and the salary is also all right, but I cannot stop. I have to search for another good job. For that I am preparing, and I have appeared in the exam. Now the result may come within 7 days. Obviously, how can I become? So that anxiety is there. So there is no end to all this thing. It's going on. So nowadays in the modern society, it is so much so. So it is a terrible thing for the modern minds. Everything is there available, but there is no peace. There is no happiness. Now think of it, just we are going and sitting in an aircraft and reaching to India, far away country, and only 18 hours, 19 hours, say one day, 24 hours. But we are reaching over there. Think of the Swami Vivekananda. He went 1883, sailing from there. It took a month, and he had to change the ship, and in the ship so much of problems, and then slowly coming, and it's okay. But the speed is there, availability is there, everything is there. But only thing that we are losing and losing every day is the happiness. Why? Because of the desire. There is no peace, there is no happiness, there is no contentment. And that is the reason, friends, we are reading the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. I gave the name Panchama Veda because it teaches us only the path of religion, path of dharma, path of happiness, path of bliss. And that is essential for this life. If we are not happy, then what for? We are earning, we are purchasing building and purchasing car and all these things. If we are not happy, so how we can be? Our mind should be free from desire. I am satisfied whatever I have got, and if necessary, well, I will try that much. If I get, it is okay. If I don't get, it is also all right. Whatever I have achieved, that is sufficient. By that way, at least in some time of our life, we have to say, enough is enough. I am satisfied. Then it will be all right. So this is the way we have to, otherwise it is impossible. Then the Sri Ramakrishna given another example. He is mentioning a man was angling in a lake all by himself. After a long while, the float began to move. Now and then its tips touched the water. The angler was holding the rod tight in his hands, ready to pull it up, when a passer-by stopped and said, "Sir, can you tell me where Mr. Banerjee lives?" There was no reply from the angler, who was just on the point of pulling up the rod. Again and again the stranger said to him in a loud voice, "Sir, can you tell me where Mr. Banerjee lives?" But the angler was unconscious of everything around him. His hands were trembling, his eyes fixed on the float. And the stranger was annoyed and went on. When he had gone quite a way, the angler's float sank under the water, and with one pull of the rod, he landed the fish. He wiped the sweat from his face with his towel and shouted after the stranger, "Hey, you said," he said, "come here, listen." But the man would not turn his face. After much shouting, however, he came back and said to the angler, "Why are you shouting at me? What did you ask me about?" Said the angler. The stranger said, "I repeated the question so many times, but now you are asking me to repeat it once more." The angler replied, "At that time my float was about to sink, so I didn't hear a word of what you said." This is the reference. So, obviously, the one who is meditating should be like this. But when we keep our cell phone with us and sit for meditation, and we are expecting a call from so and so, or the message from so and so, so obviously, can we meditate? The Sri Ramakrishna, he first said it is possible. Why? Because he himself practiced it. And now he is giving the example. And the first example of a hunter, then a man who was fishing. And in both the cases we found that all around things is not disturbing his mind. So that is called meditation. A person can achieve such single-mindedness in meditation that he will see nothing, hear nothing, he will not be conscious even of touch. A snake may crawl over his body, but he will not know it. Neither of them will be aware of other. So this is how Sri Ramakrishna is teaching us. In this life, if we want happiness, we have to reduce our desire. And slowly, after that, only one desire we have to keep in our mind. There's the God realization. How to realize God? With the mind only. When the mind was loaded with desire, we could not reach to God because God is away from that. Why these desires are there? Where from the desires came? From God. God has kept so many things before us. Then He gave us the mind and different senses also, sense organs also, and created the desire, different type of desire because of the sattva, raja and tama. Then He Himself came in the form of a human being and said, don't get entangled with all these things. Then you will suffer. Look at the past. Those people were also having this. I made this difficult, but you have to overcome. He is the goal. He is the path. And He is again the guide. He made all these things and wanted us to go over all and to be successful. So that is the way the great teacher is teaching us. And why he is talking about meditation? Because meditation is the only option to understand that whether I am capable or not. How I will know that I am withdrawing my mind from the world and giving it to God? Through meditation. The meditation doesn't mean that you have to see only the flickers of the lamp, only the lamp. No. Whatever you are doing, you have to put the whole mind to that. That will develop the capacity. Sometimes we are fishing, sometimes we are hunting, sometimes we are doing some other things. The example that he is giving. So whatever we do, we forget the whole world around us. And that mind, trained mind, concentrated mind, if I turn towards God and try to concentrate on God, then obviously we will forget the world around us and we will reach to God. The Sri Ramakrishna is mentioning a person can achieve such single-mindedness in meditation that he will see nothing, hear nothing, he will not be conscious even of touch. So that is the way we have to slowly, not in one day. So within a month, I am trying it for 3 months, not like that. It takes long period of time, because it depends on the person who is meditating. If he is having different type of responsibilities, so obviously in his mind that will be there. So he cannot just simply leave aside that. He can practice a little, that will be when free from the responsibilities, or those who have not entered into that world, the young fresh minds, they can try that. And that is why the Sri Ramakrishna is mentioning, and in deep meditation the sense organs stop functioning. Sense organs. Chakshu, Karna, Nashika, Jiva, Tok, these are the 5 sense organs. Then the eyes, the ear, the nose, the tongue and the skin. So these are the 5 organs. They go and touch, they go and see, they go and smell, they go and taste. By that way, all information is coming in, and where it is going? Mind. And that is making the mind very agitated. And that is the reason one should be careful about seeing, hearing, touching, eating, all this. So ahara doesn't mean only the thing that we are tasting through our tongue. Ahara means with all the 5 organs, whatever we are collecting. So that is called aharan. So ahara. In deep meditation, the sense organs stop functioning. The mind does not look outward. It is like closing the gate of the outer court in a house. There are 5 objects of the senses: form, taste, smell, touch and sound. They are all left outside. So we will read about this, and we will discuss about the meditation and the Yoga Sutras a little while we are going along with Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. What are the problems that the Patanjali Yoga he is mentioning, and some of the words that they use, the terminologies that they use, that might be a little difficult if we are not accustomed to that. Otherwise, it is so easy to understand, but difficult to practice, that is true. But we can try. So thank you, friends, and again in the next week we will continue from here. And so let us conclude it with our pranam mantra. Niranjanam nityam anantarupam bhaktanukampa dhrita vigraham vai Ishavataram parameshamidhyam tam Ramakrishnam shirasa namamaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.